Okay, welcome to Perdido Key Gaming. As promised, I got some old Dungeons and Dragons stuff to show you my old collection. Came back to the United States in the late 70s, and I had played Dungeons and Dragons in overseas with my brother, my sister, my friends, things like that. But we played with the old blue border, the old Dungeons and Dragons basic set that you got via mail order. You could order that from magazines or comic books or stuff like that. But I had gotten introduced because back then everybody was into Tolkien. So I'd read Tolkien, and the next thing you know, I met some guy that could DM, Dungeon Master, some Dungeons and Dragons. So we played in study hall in the school for a few days. It was really fun, and I absolutely had to get a hold of that game, all to the detriment of my parents, of course, who thought it was crazy. But anyway, so I get back to the States, and we spent, I forget how many days up in New York, going from bookstore to bookstore to find the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons set, which had come out by then. So ended up with all the stuff, and me and my brother, my friends, my sister, we used to play constantly. Probably should have been studying, but anyway. So I'll show you these things. They're much the worse for wear. That thing got taped up with electrician's tape. But yeah, still, there you go, 1978. I think the Player's Handbook was the first one to come out. I think that's right. But yeah, you pick your race, you pick your class, and you try to go out and become a hero. And you had to either buy the adventures, or you could actually create them yourself. Of course, Dungeon Mastery. But next. Even worse for wear, the old Dungeon Master's Guide. Absolutely terrible condition, especially the middle part, right there where the combat tables are. Look at that. Just destroyed. But I've got a newer one. I think got off of eBay or something further on down the road, or not eBay, but out of a bookstore. And of course, I lost my old monster manual. Bought this one, same place as bought the Dungeon Master's Guide. But these were all your creatures that you could populate your dungeons and look up their stats and everything like that. That was always fun. Of course, demons and devils. They had to get rid of the demons and devils because that was just after all the rock and roll and heavy metal bands and everything like that started, what was her name? Oh, Tipper Gore, yeah. She started all this mess with all these bands and stuff, saying they're Satan worshipers. And anyway. Then the next one I got was, probably can't guess what this one is, but the old deities and demigods, which this is the first one, 1980. So it had this Lufu and the Melnimonian mythos in there, which ended up being a copyright issue, so they had to remove it from other editions. But yeah, it was fun. In case your players wanted to try to beat up Zeus or something like that. The old Fiend Folio, which was, not the second, I think it was the second bunch of monsters to come out. All these monsters were from White Dwarf magazine, which was a British magazine that always had some cool stuff in it. A lot shorter than the old Dragon magazine, but that was a nice pickup. You got some more monsters in there. And they started getting into Oriental adventures and adding new classes and everything like that. Monster Manual 2. This is getting old and long and old in the tooth, and every time you turned around, they're coming out with something else. And then they had Unearthed Arcana came out. This one got tore up quite a bit too. Yeah, old character sheet looks like. But the added some new classes, some new things. Try to get some skill action going on. Greyhawk, that was not the original campaign setting, but that was the one Gary Gygax had the most complete setting. It was probably the most, except for some of the ones done by folks that weren't TSR or anything like that. Some of the companies had their own, not versions, but they had their own campaign stuff that looked remarkably like Dungeons and Dragons, so you could use their stuff. City State of the Invincible Overlord comes to mind, of course. More demons, of course. By then they're probably not even called demons and devils anymore. And you had your, Dungeoneer Survival Guide, the Wilderness Survival Guide, of course. Always fun. Dragonlance, I think that was probably the most popular back then in the 80s and everything like that. The most popular set of books, the novels based on Dungeons and Dragons. Then you had the Forgotten Realms stuff that came out, and that was pretty interesting, more hardcore than I think Dragonlance, if you ask me. I think there were some other books. There was definitely, some stuff based on Arabian, the Arabian Nights information and everything like that. And Advanced Dungeons and Dragons was just a lot more hardcore than the old Blue Book, more basic Dungeons and Dragons, but now it's all Dungeons and Dragons. I think there was a Player's Handbook 2, which seems to be missing in combat, but I've got one around here anyway. Anyway, that's just a little flashback into the past, as it were. And hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit like, subscribe, leave me some comments about some of the other stuff maybe I missed. I'm sure I got it laying around here somewhere, but anyway, hit like, subscribe, and we'll see you back for some other stuff. I'm a huge Rollmaster fan, Rollmaster 2nd edition, so hopefully I'll be able to show off some of that old school stuff as well. Anyway, have a nice day. We'll see you soon.